What's up everybody, welcome back to the channel and welcome to the Spurs preview. But before we talk about Spurs, I just wanted to say something about Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. He has come out and said that he would love to come back at Manchester United if they were to give him the opportunity again. And in my opinion, I wouldn't necessarily mind it because I do believe that Ole Gunnar Solskjaer has been the best manager that Manchester United have had since post Sir Alex Ferguson, hands down in my opinion. Finishing third in the 2019 to 2020 season and second in the 2020-2021 season in the league is not a fluke. And even though he didn't win any trophies, he's definitely been the best manager post Alex Ferguson. He's played the best football, and we've seen Manchester United play the best football under Solskjaer. And the season he got sacked, in my opinion, hands down, he should have at least finished the season. And then the club should have made a decision with regards to whether they want to keep him on or sack him. I think it was kind of disrespectful to let him go in the middle of the season. Yes, results were really bad, but you know what? He could have turned it around because only the season before he had finished second, and that's not a fluke. But yeah, Ollie back. I'd take Ollie back personally, but it is what it is anyway. So anyway, back to Spurs. Man United are hosting Spurs at Old Trafford tomorrow at the 4:30 p.m. kickoff. And Spurs in June 2023, they appointed Postecoglou as head coach of Tottenham on a 4-year contract, and his appointment saw him become the first Australian and the first person born in Greece to manage in the Premier League. Last season they finished 5th with 66 points. They won 20 games, they drew 6 and they lost 12. They scored 74 goals and they conceded 61 and had a plus 13 goal difference. And they only finished 2 points behind Aston Villa, who were 4th. So they could have easily got into the Champions League spots had they gained an extra 3 points. But unfortunately it wasn't for them, and they are in the Europa League. So head to head last season against Manchester United, they drew. We drew against Spurs at home at Old Trafford. It was a 2-2 draw. But I think the second game of last season at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium, Manchester United did lose that game 2-0, and I don't remember them playing particularly well that game. Recently though, midweek, they are coming away, beating Qarabag 3-0 with 10 men in Europe. Dragusin, I think that's how you say his name, he got sent off in the 7th minute, and for about 80 minutes, Tottenham were playing with 10 men, but they still managed to win against Qarabag in the Europa League. So they got their Europa League campaign off to a good start. Last week, however, in the Premier League, they are coming away with a 3-1 win against Brentford. But the week before, they lost to Arsenal 1-0 at home. And before that, they lost to Newcastle 2-1 away. So in terms of form, I would say that Spurs are coming into this with some decent form because they've won their previous 2 games, while Manchester United have drawn their previous 2 games. This season, however, in the Premier League, they sit 10th with 7 points, same number of points as Manchester United from the first 5 games, and they've got an identical record with Man United as well. They've won 2, drawn 1 and lost 2 as well. They've scored 9 goals and conceded 5 and have a plus 4 goal difference. But in terms of their away form, I have read and heard that they have won 3 of their previous 15 away league games away from home. So that's not pretty good in terms of their form away from home. In terms of team news, Son was forced off against Qarabag midweek, so they are hoping he is fit to start for them at Old Trafford. In terms of their starting 11, usually they like to set up in a 4-3-3 formation. Vicario in net, Porro, Romero, Van de Ven and Odogi as the back 4. Then you got Bentancur, Maddison and Kulusevski as a midfield 3. Then you got Johnson, Solanke and Son as a front 3. So like I mentioned previously, under Postecoglou, they like to set up in a 4-3-3 formation, and on the ball it does like a 4-2-3-1 sometimes as well, with Maddison dropping into the 10 and then Bentancur and Kulusevski playing as that 2 kind of central midfield pivot. Then you've got Johnson and Son out wide, and then Solanke up front, of course. Solanke is coming away with his first goal for Tottenham. He scored last week against Brentford. So he is, hopefully for them, he is, I'm not sure if he's worth whatever they paid him for, which was 60 million or something, but he might turn out to be a good signing for them. In terms of how they like to play, they are good at disrupting the opposition defensive shape. They occupy central areas and they like to invert the fullbacks as well. If I have a look at Porro and Odogi, they like to invert in and kind of occupy that central midfield position and and they like a numerical overload in the centre of the pitch. They prioritise playing out from the back, which can lead to some mistakes as well. Vicario did look a little bit shaky. I think against Brentford, he came out for a couple things and he wasn't particularly convincing. So he can be got at, I think, from crosses. Vicario, I don't think he is as strong from crosses as he should be as a goalkeeper. So maybe Manchester United can target him from corners and set pieces. But in terms of how they play out, like I said, they play out from the back. They give each other options the ball. They like to play in triangles and prioritise third man runs. They advance play quickly as well and don't go long often. They always like to play through you and kind of overload the centre of the pitch. Pedro Porro, the right back for Tottenham, is a danger in the final third. I think he's very good, neat and tidy on the ball. He's good at inverting in and causing problems and looking to get on the ball as well. They want to disrupt the opponent defensive shape. Maddison and Kulusevski, sometimes they occupy the number 8 position and the half spaces as well, but sometimes cover wide areas as well when the fullbacks invert in. So if the fullbacks come into the centre of the pitch, then Maddison and Kulusevski, sometimes they like to go out into the fullback positions to find some space. They like to exploit space and have good movement off the ball as well. The fullbacks like to get forward and involved in the play as well. And Solanke is a decent signing for them, I think, finally replacing Harry Kane. He's a different type of forward to Kane, of course. But in terms of their play, they like fluid rotations, and they are, I think, tactically flexible. In terms of their front line, I think it's quite interchangeable. Johnson, Solanke, and Son. I think they are good at interchanging positions as well and kind of playing off each other. The opposition star man, obviously, it's going to be Son. He has excellent ball control. He's a nice dribbler, tidy in tight spaces, good at creating chances and very good movement in the final third. And he's the first Asian player to score 100 goals in the Premier League. And in my opinion, I think this is going to be a little bit of an unpopular opinion, but I think Son is better than Mount and Bruno. But you know, it's just an opinion. I could be just my opinion. Yeah, I think he is better than Mount and Bruno. I think Bruno is a little bit wasteful on the ball. But you know what? Sometimes Bruno's numbers do pull up, but recently he has been a little bit kind of wasteful on the ball. But yeah, Son, in terms of technical ability, and passing ability and dribbling ability, I think he is better than Bruno. But I think in terms of Bruno's output, Bruno is better in terms of providing goals and assists overall. So in that regard, they are kind of balancing each other out a little bit in terms of their abilities as footballers. So maybe Son isn't better than Bruno and Mount. Maybe he is. I don't know. It's just kind of a 50-50 there. But yeah, Bruno's output has been very decent. I'm surprised Son hasn't moved to a kind of bigger club, somewhere like a Liverpool or a Man City or a Barcelona or a Real Madrid, because I do think he has that ability to be playing for these for clubs like that, of that nature. But he has stayed at Tottenham for the past couple of years, and he is their star man, the one that we need to be looking out for. And he usually does end up scoring against United as well, if I'm not mistaken. In terms of Manchester United's team news, Son is facing a late fitness test because he was taken off against Qarabag midweek in the Europa League. Yeah, so in terms of Manchester United, they are still out. Shaw, Malacia, Yoro and Lindelof are still out with injuries, so they are not going to be featuring tomorrow against Spurs at Old Trafford. Mount and Højlund are back, and they were seen on the bench the past couple of matches. They have been coming off the bench and kind of trying to provide Man United with that killer ball and that goal against Palace and against 20 midweek, but it wasn't to be, and they are still regaining match fitness as well. So in terms of my Manchester United starting 11, this is it. So this is my starting 11 for Manchester United. I've got so Onana in net, of course, Mazraoui, De Ligt, Martinez and Dalot in the defence. Then I've got Mainu and Eriksen. I wouldn't be surprised if Eriksen comes out and he's replaced with Casemiro or someone, because Eriksen has played the previous 4 games. He started the previous 4 games, so he is 32 years old, so maybe possible rotation, Erik Ten Hag might be thinking. But yeah, but personally, I would start him because I think he's been our best central midfielder alongside Mainu. So I would start him personally. Then in the forward positions, I've gone with Rashford on the left, Xerxes in the kind of number 10 false 9 position, then Ahmad on the right. I am dropping Bruno because he hasn't been good enough in the league. He's got 1 assist in 5 league games, which just isn't good enough in my opinion. And Man United aren't scoring goals, so you know what, play Rashford, Xerxes, and of course I've got Højlund up front. But so if you're not scoring goals, you know what, put all your forwards on and see what can happen. Rashford, Xerxes, and Højlund. Surely there's a goal between them. So that's who I've got up front. In terms of Man United, they are coming away with a draw against Palace and 20. But in terms of playing out, I think Man United have been decent with the ball. I think Dallow's won possession more times than any other player in the Premier League, 40 times he has. So defensively, Man United have been pretty decent. That goal that we conceded against 20 midweek was a very poor goal, and I think the whole team was at fault as well, from where 20 basically played it out from their keeper, and Man United aren't pressing well and just letting them run through. Maguire then dives in, and then Eriksen loses it because he doesn't scan the pitch properly. Very poor goal to give up, and I think not much can be kind of heckled at Ten Hag with regards to giving up such a poor goal. But in terms of Man United, we are coming away with 2 games, 2 draws in the previous 2 games, which we should be winning comfortably. 20 came for a draw and stunk the place out, but Man United should be winning that 5-0 easily. 20 are not a great side. In terms of Crystal Palace as well, we should be beating them as well with the amount of chances we had in the first half. I wanted Eriksen and Mainu and Xerxes rested for that game midweek, but Eriksen and Xerxes both started. Eriksen has started the previous 4 games, so I was surprised to see him. But in terms of goals Man United have conceded, they've all been due to individual errors. If you look at the goals against Liverpool, 2 were Casemiro and Mainu errors. But that doesn't mean that Ten Hag has got it right tactically, in my opinion. His persistence with Bruno is particularly annoying and frustrating. Why play him on the right? We finished with Bruno Fernandes on the right wing against 20 when you've got Anthony on the bench and you're taking Rashford off, and you could be playing Garnacho on the right as well. So why play him on the right wing when he's been awful all season? You know, you're looking for a goal. Either play him. Personally, what I would have done, I would have, against 20 and against Palace, I would have just had Højlund, Rashford and Xerxes up front, and then Ahmad or Garnacho on the right. Then I would have had Eriksen and Bruno playing in the centre of the pitch as a defensive midfielder pair, because you're looking for a goal. Get all your attackers on. You know what, you shouldn't be drawn to Palace and 20. So also taking Eriksen and Rashford off in that game when chasing a goal is stupid as well. Just go 4-4-2 in my opinion. Højlund and Xerxes up front, Garnacho and Rashford out wide, and Bruno and Eriksen in the middle. I think, you know what, just go out all guns blazing. In terms of Ugarte as well, I don't think he does pass the eye test. His passing is pretty bad, so I'm not sure if he's going to turn out to be a good signing for Manchester United. In terms of how do you beat Spurs, so I think you got to just disrupt them, keep composed in possession. Xerxes could disrupt them if you leave him one-on-one and give him time. Wing play as well, I think, is going to be a key factor in trying to beat Spurs, because their fullbacks, Porro and Undogi, like to push up high, and that's going to leave space in behind them for the likes of Rashford and Ahmad to run onto. So you got to identify passes quickly and move the ball forward with purpose very quickly as well. In terms of Man United's form in the Premier League, it is a little bit bad, because I think that's 7 points from a possible 15 in the first 5 games. Not great whatsoever. But what's good is that Man United are creating big chances. They are third in terms of big chances created. Villa have 19, who are top. Liverpool have 18, and then Man United are third with 16 big chances created. Big chances missed as well. Manchester United are top of that as well with 17 chances missed. Liverpool, Tottenham and Villa are second with 12 big chances missed, each of them. So I think if you, obviously Man United hopefully are going to be creating chances, and if they put them away, then without a shadow of a doubt we will be winning this game if Man United are able to score their chances that they create. Are they going to score that remains to be seen. I'm not particularly sure if Man United are going to be winning tomorrow. Yeah, in terms of Man United star man, I'm going to have to go with Marcus Rashford. He was Man United's most threatening player against 20, and hopefully he exploits the space that Spurs leave him behind. So yeah, that's my starting lineup and my star man for Manchester United. Hopefully Rashford gets back into goal scoring form, and we see kind of the Marcus Rashford of old, because we really need to be kind of getting back into goal scoring form if you want to be moving up the league table. Otherwise, Man United are still just going to be staying 10th. In terms of my score prediction, I predicted Man United to win against 20 and against Palace as well, and we drew both games, and I was very disappointed with that. And this time I'm going to predict a Manchester United loss. I do believe Man United are going to lose 2-0. I think Son and Maddison are going to score. Lost to Brighton, lost to Liverpool, drew to Palace, drew to 20. I think it's going to be a very difficult season for Manchester United, and I wouldn't be surprised if Man United are kind of between like 6th to 10th in December. Honestly, it's going to be a long season, and I don't think Man United are going to win tomorrow. Hopefully I'm proven wrong, because I'm not a kind of a deluded fan. I want Man United to win every single game of football, and I don't care if Man United win 1-0 with 30% possession through an own goal. It doesn't bother me how Man United win as long as we get the win, but I just don't see us winning tomorrow. I am a little bit kind of deflated from the draws against 20 and Palace. Hopefully I am proven wrong. Of course I want to be proven wrong. Of course I want Manchester United to win every single game, and hopefully they do. But I'm not sure. Anyway, if you enjoyed this video, please leave a like, comment and subscribe, and I'll catch you in the next one.